Hi Aries, this will be your reading for January 2023. The overall energy for the whole month is talking about something magical. Things are happening very quickly in your energy in the month of January, okay? It's almost like somebody's waving a magic wand and turning your world upside down, okay? Now, it does talk about you recognizing your destiny, your path. You're taking charge of your life. You're moving it in the direction that you want. You're manifesting what it is that you want. As above, so below. What you believe, what you feel in your heart, you can manifest. But it also talks about you having to put the energy in order to manifest it. You have to take the actions that are needed. So if you want a new job, it's not enough to just pray or wish that you have a new job or you're getting a new job. You need to fill out some resumes. You need to fill out some applications. You need to make sure that all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, if indeed that is what you want, and apply for the jobs that specifically you want, okay? Now, it does talk about someone achieving mastery in their world, and you know what? It looks like it's you, Aries. You're achieving mastery because you know how to get what it is you want. You know how to move forward in a positive and a very specific, focus-orientated way, okay? You're being very proactive, independent. You're taking an interest in everything around you and everything in the world. You're using your resources with confidence. It does talk about you being a dedicated student. Perhaps you're going back to school. Perhaps you're applying for a scholarship. Perhaps you're applying for a loan in order to go back to school. Okay. Now, it does talk about you seeking out the appropriate people, the opportunities, the right places, the right circumstances. It's a reality based step by step plan that you're putting into place. Okay. Now, it does talk about perhaps you wanting to find the ideal partner, the ideal job, or the ideal job situation, or the ideal home situation. Okay. But if you want to know specifically if someone's interested in you, it says yes, but they could be a good match. Indeed, they could be a good match for you, but time will tell, okay? So don't rush something that is just beginning. Watch for the positive attributes to come into place. Don't push it, don't rush it. So as you're moving into that first week, you're going to be getting a message. And you know, it's a message that's coming in from someone who's very bright, very impatient though, and they like to see results very quickly, okay? And perhaps it's someone that likes to find out the answer to things before the question has even been asked, okay? But it's someone who gets into trouble due to this impulsivity in their personality, okay? It could be a brother, could be a cousin, could even be a son. Someone who's very sociable, perhaps overly social. Someone very open, but doesn't think before they speak, you know. I've met many like that. So it could be a fire sign individual. That would be a Sagittarius, an Aries, or a Leo. Now, it's going to be a phone call or some type of news that's coming in from this person. It's going to be possibly a special announcement, or maybe it's you that's going to make an announcement to this person, okay? Perhaps this person is getting into a new relationship and they're calling you to tell you about this new relationship because they're excited. But it also talks about the loyalty of friends. So if you've applied for a job, know that as with that magician, you are manifesting that new job. So this perhaps could be a communication from a job that you've applied to where indeed you got the job or you got the interview. People are speaking well of you, so it obviously looks like the references that you gave, they're going to come through for you. Now, as you're moving into that second week, okay, it does talk about success, which of course was there not going to be success because you manifested this, okay? So it talks about success and happiness and completion. You're connecting to the wider world, and this is what you wanted. You're finding that rewarding career that you've been vying for all along, and you're in control of your self-expression, okay, and your self-power and your creativity. You're striving for that self-development. You're wanting to move forward in some aspect in your life. You're wanting to move up that echelon of power or perhaps of prestige in your job. You're striving to develop an awareness of the outside world. You're developing your potential. You're developing your goals, your projects, your courses of study. Perhaps you're even moving. It could talk about a move to the country, which is a wonderful thing to have happen especially in this time of year. Where I am, it's snowing and it's amazing going driving or going tobogganing, taking your children going tobogganing. But it talks about you joining with nature, okay? So perhaps you're moving to the country. Perhaps you're getting involved in that type of excursion. Maybe you're going tobogganing. Maybe you're going skiing. Maybe you're going on a skiing trip, okay? But it does talk about fun and happiness coming into place as you're moving into January. Who wouldn't be happy frolicking in the snow? So let's move on with this before I start booking a ticket. So now we're moving into the third week. And in the third week, there's someone coming into your circle of energy, a female, okay? And it's someone who's very analytical. They have that analytical mind and they're very, very intellectual. They love challenges. Now, this could be a friend, this could be a daughter, this could be a sister, this could be a cousin. It could be someone who has that close energy to you. A familial aspect, okay? But it is a female energy, and it's someone who makes decisions, fair decisions for all involved. So it could even have to do with a court system or a lawyer, okay? Or a counselor of sorts. Now, it's someone who doesn't let their emotions kind of take charge of their situation. So it could be an attorney, it could be a judge, an engineer, it could be a programmer, okay? A scientist, a doctor of neurology, because it has to do with the mind and analytical thinking, okay? Perhaps someone in sociology or criminology. Perhaps you are dealing with these type of energies, or maybe yourself. Maybe you are getting into that field of study. Maybe that's the job that you have vied for, and that's a job where you're going to get the good references and the accolades. So indeed, if that's what you're applying for, you're going to get that job. Perhaps you're a journalist. Perhaps you're going to start being creative and writing stories. Maybe you're going to write a book, or maybe you're on the brink of writing a book, okay? But it does talk about a career that's going to rely on expertise. Maybe you are going to rely on your expertise in some field in order to write a book to move along that echelon of success, okay? It does talk about educational pursuits and development. It talks about working with children. So perhaps you're going to work with children in an analytical way, okay? Maybe you're going to deal with counseling, with developmental services of sorts, okay? Now, it also talks about possibly working with minorities or working with women's groups or women's rights in some area in your life. And indeed, it does talk that you are going to be very successful and you're going to move it forward in a successful way. So if you're looking, hoping to help someone, a minority in your life or in the world at large, you're hoping to help them in some way, you are going to contribute positive things into the success of this project or this circumstance, okay? So now we're moving into the very last week. And in that last week, Aries, you might be finding it a little bit difficult to focus because there's so much going on, okay? Now, it does talk about being creative in your business endeavor that you're taking over, that you're becoming involved in, but it does talk about success coming in time. It's going to take time to build up a successful repertoire. It's going to take time to build up that successful, perhaps, resume, okay? Or endeavor of sorts. Now, or perhaps even support. Maybe you're vying to get support. Financial support from a circumstance in society, like there's people that apply for loans to start businesses. Maybe that's what you're hoping to do, or maybe you're doing a funding for something. What's that called? A funding like they do on Facebook, where they do the Fund Me accounts. Maybe you're doing that, and maybe you're hoping to start a Fund Me account for a minority group that is struggling or that has been basically put through the ringer or is struggling financially, to deal with food or education or something like that, okay? And it does talk about that being very successful, but it is going to take time. So it's not going to be something that happens overnight. It's going to be something that you are manifesting, but you're going to have to put the effort in and is going to take some time. Now, it also talks about success coming in time, okay? But it also talks about concerns that are taking place in your life, concerns about a pet. So maybe you are setting up a Fund Me account for uh, a shelter for animals, okay? Something like that. Now, it does talk about living modestly and taking pleasure in the simple things in life, not looking to make a lot of accolades or a lot of money at this point in time, okay? You're willing to put that effort in to gain those positive things, but you're willing to live simply. And it's almost like that's something that you have vied for all along, okay? You're not looking for the gold and the silver. You're looking for the peace of mind and the spiritual balance in your life. Now, perhaps you're not willing to give up your independence to be in a relationship. And that might kind of pull you in a different direction than what someone thought you would. Maybe someone thought that you were willing to get into a relationship with them because they had the funds, because they had a little bit of coin in their back pocket. And you're kind of thinking, Aries, you're kind of thinking, it doesn't matter how much money you got. And it doesn't. It really doesn't. It doesn't matter how much money you got. It's how you treat someone and how respectful you are of their views and their values and how loving you are toward them. It doesn't matter how much money you're coughing up. Well, sometimes it does, I guess, for certain people, but not for my Aries. Aries certainly are looking at the spiritual aspect of a relationship at this point in time, okay? Now, it does talk about you feeling a little frustrated. Maybe there's a lot of people around you and you're looking to spend some time alone to kind of go inward and think about what you want to manifest in your life, okay? You need that, you need to find your balance. And perhaps there's too much rhetoric going on around you or too much noise, okay? There is someone in your life who's willing and able to give up their independence and become involved in a relationship with you. But you're kind of torn. You're kind of torn. They're willing and they're able and they're ready. They're ready to cross that line, okay, into a relationship with you. But maybe at this point in time, you're kind of having second thoughts and you're thinking, I don't know if I want to, I don't want to know, I don't know if I want to lose my independence or my freedom, okay? It could also talk about someone in your life who's having problems with dependency. And that could be on relationships, that could be financially, that could be drugs and alcohol, that could be a gamut of things, okay? So having problems with dependency, and perhaps you're not willing to cross that line and to take on that trials and tribulations at this point in time, okay? There might be a time when you're ready, but obviously it's not yet. So you're holding fast and you're holding strong and you're taking your time at moving forward in this relationship. And that is what the divine wants for you, to take your time, to focus on you for the month of January. So I shall see you in February. Take care, my friends, and be healthy, be safe, but always, always be kind. Namaste. Bye.